Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Iron Panther Presents. We're about to discuss Landman as we talk about season 1, episode 9. How does this episode prep us for the season finale? I don't think it's been renewed yet, but as Jamani says, it's easily probably going to be renewed. But anyway, we'll talk about that in the video. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can like on the video and comment on the video, share the video, watch the video until the end. Why is Jerry Jones behind me? We'll discuss all this. But anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Let's listen to the intro and then we'll talk about the show. Let's do that.
Oh, wait. I got to do it now. Wait. This is going to be funny. Wait. You ready? I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Yes, we're going to discuss Landman. And before we get started, if you've been watching our reviews, you know I have been very critical of this show. But I loved the last episode. I liked this episode, specific parts of it, and we shall get into that. So I'm not just going to be crapping on it. The crap will come later. There's crap to be said, but there's good stuff up front, and I want to get into the good stuff. But Javon, what did you enjoy anything about this episode? Or something you want to highlight?
The writing on the show is just phenomenal. It's like, when people say, this isn't TV, this is real life, because people say the perfect stuff on TV. Like, everybody says damn near the perfect stuff, especially Billy Bob, especially Tommy and Cooper. Like, they know how to diffuse their women. Like, in real life, these arguments are things that cause like silent treatment or a rift for like days or more. They nip that shit in the bud in like 5 minutes.
Oh, you being serious? Okay. All right. So what? Give me an example and why did you enjoy it? Like, because again, I'm asking for a genuine positive.
Cooper, Cooper's got to be. He has like pimpology or something. Like he is masterful with his persuasion, right? Because I don't know about us. You worry about you, I worry about me. And he's like, no, I don't know if I can do this without the motivation of you, right? Because what I'm not saying is you have the money for me to do all of this. I'm like, he's telling her his whole plan, and I'm like, you ain't got no money to do any of that, but she has the money to do that seed money. So this is grade A pimping. This is, like.
Okay, so as always, I love Cooper. He is one of the shining lights in this show, and one of the only reasons I'm still watching it. Next after Tommy, any scene with Billy Bob as Tommy is a good scene. I disagree with the pimping part of it, because despite what she said, and again, it's not consistent. This whole I don't know, we're gonna work out. Let me you do you and I do me. That's bullshit. Because the first time she met this man at her dead husband's wake, she was like, he was a shoulder to cry on and a penis to jump on. Like, she was ready day one.
Well, she hasn't jumped on it yet.
But and I respect the show for trying to develop this relationship, and I'm impressed with that. But she was ready to go day one. So, and also the scene where you're talking about, and I thought about this. You're right. Everything he plans to do is based on using the money that will come to Ariana. Her money, because her husband died. But then remember, this same woman doesn't even know what mortgage means. This is the woman who was like, I have a bank account? Is that what you said? My husband just comes home and magically money appears, and then I buy food and I breastfeed. That's what I do. So there's no way in any kind of world she was going to be able to handle $1 million. There's no way. She needed Cooper So that's already established. So I don't know what we're trying to achieve with this. I don't know if they're going to be together stuff. Again, this
No,
agrees.
she's trying to pimp the situation as well because she's like, yeah, I'm trying to make you think that there's something romantic, and is every time you try to pursue that, whether it's her saying I'm gonna friend zone you, or her I don't know if she has something to do with the doorbell or something, because every time they go to do something, it's interrupted. And I was like, you actually open the door for the carpet cleaning person or whatever. I guess you get the emphasis of her slamming the door in his face, but like, that's just who is it from behind the door?
I hear you, bro. Again, she's committed. She was already committed. When she called him, of all the people in her life, she said, Cooper, help me understand the paperwork on my. She was already committed to this dude. But I love the idea that it did acknowledge, though, you're moving into the house my husband bought. Actually, he's paying a mortgage. It's actually not paid off, which is why you have a mortgage. But anyway, his bed, his wife, his dog, and yeah, he's already established himself. The fact that the dog is on his lap, he's already daddy. This is already his home. So this should have happened like 2 episodes ago. So I'm not. Let's get to it. But to your point, the draws, he earned it when he pulled up his shirt and saw the ass whooping scars that he still has. I was like, if any man has earned the draws, it's Cooper. It's absolutely Cooper. Like, what else do I need to do? Right. So, but I do love that the relationship is developing, since like they're taking their time, that this is gonna mean something and that's gonna go somewhere. So I love that. But he was trying to explain. I still don't know what he said, but he was trying to explain his oil plan to a person once again who could not even understand the fact that she had a bank account and a mortgage that she had to pay, which means she has no earthly clue how her dead husband did anything he did to earn the money in the bank account and the house. But he's like, well, fracking and blah, blah, and we got mineral rights and she's like, here's my draws. I was like, thank you, baby. Just hand me a beer and rub me and let me take your money and make you more money. And she's like, wow, you're so great. Like, what? You're a millionaire, bitch. Like, not him, you by yourself. But he already got the money. And then when he talked to that land dude, when he went, I'm like, he is the show. When he was like, yo, let me tell you how I'm going to give you a 25% if I lease your land and make you money. I'm like, what? He's Casey. He's everything Casey should have been. He's everything Casey should have been. And I'm carrying on my father's footsteps.
No, he's Casey if Casey didn't go to the special forces or whatever have you.
I give you that, but he's still following in his father's footsteps far better than Casey did with John. And to your point, too, but without any special forces training, which led to the help with the investigation, like, he's doing it, bro. I'm again extremely impressed. That should have been the end of the episode for me. Excuse me. It should have been him once he's like handshaked and finalized the deal with the old man. That should have been when he called him the land. You were acting like a landman. I was like, there you go. Let's end on that note, as opposed to whatever happened at Tommy's house. But yeah, anyway, I thought that was awesome. Angela, and Tommy, you're saying you enjoy their repetitive "baby, I love you, I'm always gonna love you, just manage your expectations."
Yeah, I'm like, this is like a sitcom or a cartoon where there's repetitive themes. Whether it's Ariana telling Cooper we're gonna take it slow, whether it's Tommy telling
Angela.
No, what's the daughter? Ainsley. Lie to me. It's Bible study. All of that. Whether it's Angela throwing out the food and then making weird food to be eaten weird ways and stuff. I'm like, this is a post-COVID world. Who the fuck is like in the 90s? Seinfeld had an issue with double dipping of chips, and you want people to
do communal food.
yeah.
Communal food. That's not, I'm trying to say that word. You are correct. But again, clearly COVID is not a thing in this particular universe. To your point, I sincerely enjoy the moments of Tommy again and repeatedly reassuring Angela that their newfound, their rekindled relationship has a foundation. I love you. I love the reason why he did it was that he talked to Monty and was like, hey, you know what? Life is precious. We're not guaranteed anything. Let me call my family. So let me call my wife and
What
tell her that
was
I
it?
love her.
Was it really Monty, or was it the the head racist?
The head racist. So I again, I for this one, I'm gonna say I respect the man actually. So if you want anyway, I want to get that was my favorite part actually of the entire series at this point. But
Is that Texan bias?
no, that's just a well, no, this is a fact. Like Jerry Jones, Jerry Jones's performance in his he's not even an actor, y'all. His dramatic scene and talking to Monty was some of the best acting I've seen on this show. Absolutely, hands down. It'll probably be a while for his team ever wins a Super Bowl again, but this man deserves something for his cameo in this series. It was absolutely on it, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Like if it was an actual actor doing this, I would have been like Bryan Cranston could have did this, and I would have been like, yes. Gene Hackman could have did this in his day. I would have been like, yes. Denzel Washington, like this man, he spoke to another businessman and was like, it's all about family. With a family business, it's about family, not the business, and that's what you leave when you're gone. And
That sounds like that should be. This should be on the TV in the background of all the black shows. You know, the Family Business or Power or whatever, because that's what they say all the fucking time.
it's all about family, right? But no, truly, bro. Like him talking to Monty in that moment, I was like, I want to watch this again because I would watch a series based on Jerry Jones's life right now. I want to see him. It's all made up in this sense, but like the fact that he was like, I was chasing my daughter, and then I saw some land and I started some oil drilling, and that got me the money to buy the Cowboys. And now I've made all this part of the family. So because I'm tired of leaving my family for the business. So I brought the family to the business, and now it's all family business. And I'm like, give me that show. Give me that show. And I would watch it because and then for him, it was awesome. It was awesome. And it would have made more sense if we actually would have saw Monty with his family like, on any kind of repetitive basis that he's always picking the job over his kids.
I think we saw that in the lack of. It was like, is my daughter out there? No. Why would she?
And that's bullshit. We have one scene of him at a college, I think college track meet with a daughter. I don't even know her name. I didn't even know Demi Moore's character name until this episode. Cammy? I think her name's Cammy or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my first. I'm like, she's gone. Monty's gone. Demi Moore's gone. And Jerry Jones was probably the cheapest person to bring on this show. And he did better than both of them because he mattered in this moment. And the scene would have mattered if they would have said, again, Monty is always picking his job over his family, and he actually lives long enough to change his life. He dies in the same episode. Like, what? There's no opportunity. There's no opportunity for transformation, and there was no need for it. Like
you could have at least seen him trying to call the daughter or something right before he presses the call button for the nurse or something.
Jamani, if you were in the kind of hospital that his money should afford him, don't you think all those sensors are calling the medical staff? Like, you should have to be like, excuse me, I'm having a heart attack. Could you come look into this? Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there, sir. No, buddy. What was happening? What was happening? Like, what's the point of the equipment if they don't go, oh, we need to check on patient so and so, the billionaire.
Yeah.
We'll get around to it. What? So I was, but I mean,
Because
Demi
I'm
Moore
like, I
wasn't
know he's worth more than whatever that hospital is.
You would, right? So you would think he would have round the clock doctor assistants, not nurses. Like, he would have his own doctor on staff to be like, you are ensuring that I get out of here healthy. That's what Demi Moore's character should have been doing. But we am I right? We only saw those kids once.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful moment. Jerry Jones made that moment. He made that moment. And to your point, he even got Monty thinking about family. Excuse me, he got Tommy thinking about family. And he calls his wife, and that makes sense, right? But then you call your daughter, and then then you call your son. Then you call your son, who almost died twice, who's part of your business, as Jerry Jones said.
But this, you gotta stick with the characters of the show. That's not a part of their character to care about Cooper.
But that's bullshit. Again, then you're wasting the moment. As Jerry is talking to Monty, he's also trying to talk to Tommy, which I guess they've had a history. And again, if those words resonated enough with Tommy that he called his wife, like he always does, and she's always like, we're gonna eat or fuck or both of them or whatever, then I'm like, you call Cooper and be like, hey, son, I listened to this billionaire who's like, we need to bring family and business together. And you talk to the son, because why was Monty in the hospital in the first place? Cooper got this $3 million settlement, which put him into cardiac arrest. And this is not even really flushed out to be like, so it's ironic that it's family who put him there, Tommy's family. And like, no one calls him, no one checks in on him at all.
He's like, I saw him last night.
You saw him a couple days ago. He's like, he's fine. But I'm like, it just, and then even in that moment when Tommy's trying to have a serious conversation with Angela, she is not capable of doing such, right? And I'm like, can you give her a moment, like where he can be like, hey, Monty's, he ain't looking good, and I'm like, I want my family together. I don't need Dale and Nate at the table. I need Cooper at the table. I need Ariana at the table to acknowledge that this is gonna go somewhere. Like, give me something. At least in the finale, give me something. Especially when Tommy hears this coalition thing that Cooper is trying to get together. I need him to be a part of it. I need him to say, "Wow, son, I remember what Jerry said. This could be a family thing."
I'm like, what is Rachel wasn't in this episode at all, and I'm like,
Rebecca.
Sorry. Yeah. So I'm like, is she gonna come out of nowhere and just fuck it all up for Cooper?
No, I think if he becomes competition, then that would be an interesting dynamic between those two. But I think they're setting up that, again, Monty's gone. His Demi Moore is gone. They probably cost too much. So now they're setting it up that in season 2 is going to be Rebecca. It's going to be Rebecca and Tommy running the show. And then that kind of so that they know who they're dealing with. So it's like,
I'm like, if Monty is gone, just right off the bat, right? Did he put Rebecca in his will or something? Like, how did she stay on? Who knows that she's meant to stay on?
Tommy. So Tommy knows, and apparently Nate knows because he was talking to her. To your point, Rebecca should have been in this episode to acknowledge the new position. So it's legal, right? Because in theory, Tommy could be like, he was on drugs. Monty was on pain medication. He was just talking crazy. So Rebecca, you can go. Thank you. But she should have been in this episode to establish her presence, not dominance, her presence. So we can see how the dynamic is going to work between those two. because somehow Tommy is gonna be in charge of the company somehow.
And I'm like, if Tommy is vice president, who's the Landman now?
Maybe he hires Cooper. And so it's like, oh, we need to bring him and his idea into the fold, and now he can do that though. So so again, if they're trying to bring Jerry's conversation into it, it would make it a family business, and now Cooper is a part of it. I was saying.
Okay.
I mean, or to the extent that again that they show him, like he'll be a separate oil company that he's trying to get off the ground. So it's like it's gonna be kind of he don't have the resources to go up against I guess he don't have the resources to go up against now Tommy's company. I mean, to an extent.
I'm like, I wanted to hear the Demi Moore the Cammy Monty conversation, because Tommy's like, you're not gonna have to ask him, you're gonna have to tell him.
True.
I'm like,
true.
We should have saw that.
We should have, and that should have been when he, like, right after that should have been when he died. Demi Moore must cost a crap load of money that they're like, we cannot have her say more than 5 lines. But like, she should have been there in that moment, and that's when we see Monty die, not alone calling the nurses that never came, and then we see him die. We see her call Tommy, and we're like, oh, not a off camera. Hey, what's going on? Oh, my best friend died, and boss. Okay, girl, thanks. Click. Anyway, let me go stare at this wolf or some shit that gets shot by the neighbor. The neighbor's mom. I'm assuming that's the mom of the sexy brunette that we saw that Ainsley was friends with. I don't think that was the same girl. I think that was the mom. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Again, Demi Moore. They baited and switched us with a lot of things. Demi Moore. So Monty, and I'll say to an extent also Billy Bob, because this is, to your point, this is a rom-com about Ainsley and Angela. For the most part, a lot of time is spent on these two characters, and again, not what I signed up for. Cooper did all the actual Landman stuff today, this week, I would say.
I'm like, as mad as Dale and Nate are, if it was me, I'd be 10 times madder.
To specify about the food being gone?
Yeah, I'm like, I spent money on this food. You destroying the food? Like, you can't just throw away the food and then have to throw water or whatever on. Like, I'm not married to you.
And it, like you said, that's a sitcom. That is a funny half-hour sitcom. And they could have did that if that's the show that Taylor created and that's what he advertised. And that would be funny, and I would watch it, and I would be prepared. That's not what I signed up for, with this.
I think because marketing goes towards what is your biggest proper, you're trying to connect it to Yellowstone, and it's easier to go with the drama. He's not known for comedy, even though the show proves that he is kind of good at it.
He is. I mean, he can do it. I mean, I was yeah, I mean, anyway, I don't want to keep on beating this dead horse. So I will say that the first 6 minutes of this episode, I felt like I was watching a Tyler Perry show in how fast they resolve major storylines that should take episodes. That should be some serious shit. A National Guard unit kills the members of a drug cartel, and this is resolved in 2 phone calls. What?
No, but I'm like, who is the mole, right? That has the, that's telling the cartel what Tommy's itinerary is, so to say. And when he came back from meeting Monty, why didn't they show up? When are we gonna see? Are we gonna see them next episode?
No, Jamani, stop, Jamani. None of this matters. The cartel doesn't matter. The National Guard doesn't matter. Ainsley's virginity, or lack thereof, definitely this episode, and Angela's efforts, they are the show. Billy Bob happens to be there, and he gives some funny lines, and then they get back to Ainsley and Angela. They are the show. Like the car, I can't. It is so disappointing, especially after watching Lioness and seeing the kind of action that Taylor can bring to the table. After watching Yellowstone and seeing the kind of violence and incredible action, drug dealing. There was more drug dealing in the first two seasons of Yellowstone than in this show, and they're going up against a cartel. That doesn't make any sense. Like, we know he can do it. What is happening with this show? And then to your point, the drug dealer, yo, I'm assuming this guy is actually a Latino dude. His efforts at a Hispanic accent or whatever the fuck he was doing was really irritating me. Hey, yo, SA, I'm watching you. I may come get your boss. I'm like, why are you talking like this, you fucking fake ass cholo? Like, stop it. Stop it. Like, even the Mexican dude in Force sounds more realistic. Like, man, it's painful to say that. But I'm like, it was hard to listen to this dude. But he should have
I guess
killed
that's
Monty.
why they only have him on camera less than Demi Moore.
Yo, her Southern, I say it again, y'all. I don't know if you watch our Demi Moore's in the few scenes that she's in, her Southern accent, which is unnecessary, is far, far, far better than whatever the fuck Kerry Washington is doing in that Tyler Perry movie. I hate that act. Anyway,
it's a period piece. That's the way.
Stop saying that stupid shit. Stop it. Like, everyone tells me that stupid shit. Southern voices don't change, bro. Your accent doesn't change. The dialogue may get better.
Wait, so you're telling me Southern people talk just the same way slaves talk?
Again, that's your ass that's saying that somehow slavery, that's a whole other thing, Jamani. And I'm saying, but like, no, they're not 2 steps away from slavery. The accent is too fucking much and she's not doing well at it. So let's not do that. Okay. Like, Demi Moore, she did it better and she's doing it better. Dialoguing is a whole different story, but that accent, sometimes you just gotta let it go and say, this ain't what I'm doing. But Demi Moore is killing it in the few scenes that she does talk. Killing it. But again, Cartel lost $30 million worth of product. They lost their own, actually the company's jet. They lost a truck. They lost people twice, and they done fuck nothing about it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, the cartel should not has even been brought into this show at all. It was unnecessary for what they've done with it. No.
We still have the final episode, and everything can, be the last episode of Lioness, where it's just straight bombs and explosions and gunfire and everything, the whole way through.
We've seen Taylor for no reason just change directions in a show. So, to your point, Jamani, if Iranian counterintelligence agents are somehow helping Chinese government officers help the cartel establish an oil company in Texas, and all of a sudden they all attack Tommy and crew, I say, you know what? You were right. And I'm like, hey, my fault. Stop it. Like, no, Giovanni. Like, no. Jerry Jones needs to narrate a show. I want Jerry Jones narrating a Yellowstone type show. Taylor Sheridan can write it, and it will be epic. To see a businessman, family focused, oil focused, he buys a damn fucking a football team. I want to see that drama. I want to see that show. That's what Taylor should have wrote.
So basically, you want Taylor Sheridan to do, what the hell is the name of it? To do a winning time for the losers that the Cowboys are.
No. Like, no, a fictional show. So you don't. To your point, that show was stupid because you could just Google the games. Like, no. Like a fictional businessman doing all the general construct of that process. That's what I'm saying. So, and again, the football thing it's it's really about the man and the business and that sort of thing. So we're not going to football games every day. That's a part of the no. I'm saying, but the process though would be awesome. It would be awesome. I'm saying. And then he's gonna have oil competitors. He's gonna have football competitors. So it could be like Ballers, but Ballers was a comedy. But then that's just part of it. just part of it. But the building of it, I want the building of it. Would be an awesome, a very compelling storyline. I thought. And so we agree. Ainsley finally got some dick, right? Like in this episode, off
Yeah.
camera. Thank God.
Yeah, I just that was all kinds of like. I knew when she said, "I have an idea," because they didn't have male strippers. I knew it was going to be the boyfriend. I was just happy that the boyfriend had an objection to it. He's like, I like the old people, but not enough to dry hump them.
And it doesn't make sense. It was a woman. It was the old woman who says, I want a dick in my face. It was an old woman who's like, I want to get plowed before I die. None of the men said any of this. So why are you going to a male strip club and being like, hey, can I get a woman? And okay, well, can you find me a man to shake? This doesn't make any fucking sense. Like I was like you can't find a woman strip club out there, or again, if you're gonna go that route, if the men were like, we want to see breasts before we die, Ainsley could have did that. Ainsley she could have dressed up and put Crisco on herself again and just walked around the old folks' home, and I'm sure the men would have been fine, and it would have satisfied the need. It was stupid. I actually thought the boyfriend was gonna dance for Ainsley. I thought Tommy was gonna walk in to soon to be boyfriend in his drawers dancing. And he's like, what the fuck? What? This is not Bible study. And he's like, no, daddy, he's just practicing for the old women. I really thought that's how that was going to go down.
No,
it should have went down.
No, it would have been, we're acting out the, Adam and Eve.
If they were both naked, I see where you're going with that. Or they could have get Sodom and Gomorrah. That would have been really wild. Again, the whole I'm dirtier than you was unnecessary for the third time. The third time in this series, they want us to fully remember that Ainsley is 17 years old. She can't be 18. She has to be 17. So some of these guys can be like, I want to fuck a teenager. But it's like, but 17.
You're still a teenager at 18.
But it's, again, if Carl, my friend Carl's not watching this video, but he has said repeatedly, and he is absolutely correct. There's something that Hollywood wants men to enjoy the idea that they're fucking like someone they shouldn't, but it's okay, but you shouldn't. Like 16 is too young. 17 is that nice sweet spot of still kind of a child, but still kind of an adult. So you're not going to jail for thinking about it.
So to that point, right? When they pull up in the parking lot and they get out and Ainsley is looking up at the building before they flip it around, I was like, oh, she's being taken to school for her first day of school. And no.
Actually, it could have been her first day of school, because I actually thought, as this is a cabaret, that Angela has come up with a great idea that I got to teach my daughter how to shake her ass so she never has to go to college. All she got to do is look good. That's why they're always in the gym, suck a dick, which she still hasn't taught her how to do, which I'm extremely surprised that this has not happened. That Nate has not walked into the kitchen with Ainsley and Angela with bananas in their hand, and she's like, baby, if you dislocate your jaw, you can take it all the way back. I'm truly surprised that has not happened by now, but the show is still going, so I'm still holding out hope. But I truly thought Ainsley was looking for her summer job. I did not think that, because again, it was a woman who was asking for the penis, not men. So while they're at the strip club, none of this should have happened on camera. None of it. And I'm happy that the event did not happen on camera. I'm happy at least for that. But they spent more time on the strip club bullshit than they did on the cartel and the National Guard.
We don't know that yet, because he got the note, I'm off to the old folks. He got the news, and then that was it. So we could come back next week and
it's in episode 10.
Yeah.
You know what, Jamani? You are correct. You know what? Let's meet in the middle. She'll for some reason have smartphone photos. And she'll be like, this is Susie getting that dick in her face like she requested. And this is the men. It'll be something like, and then somehow Angela got involved and she started dancing. And then when did Ainsley get her own room?
I have no idea, because that would have solved a lot of problem. Like
In episode 1, in episode 2.
no, what? Yeah, I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, because I'm like, why was he sleeping on the couch if he could have been sleeping in her room?
And why was she sleeping with her daddy in her
No,
drawers?
he was sleeping. She was in the bed, and he was like, "I'm sleeping next to the door to make sure you don't get out of this room."
Yes, but she still had no room. So I'm like, all of a sudden now she has a room. They were supposed to move out. So why are they still there in the first place? They need to get their own place. They need to get their own place. And I'm hoping that's season 2. I'm assuming that's what season 2 is.
But then, what do you do with Nate and Dale?
They can still visit, bro, but they don't need to be at. I don't want any more dinner scenes, unless it's Cooper introducing Ariana and her son to their new family, and that's once. I don't need that all the time too. But unless it's happening, I don't need any more dinner scenes. What does Angela do for money? What is her career? What is her purpose?
She's a well-kept woman or whatever. Like that's what she went through the whole I suck a dick every once in a while. Whatever,
you know what?
She gave her whole financial life story when she was in the gym the other week.
And even in this episode, it was like I had sex in the bushes, or I think, or a trash compactor or some shit. And I'm like, what? Anyway, to your point, when they walked into the cabaret, I was waiting for her to tell Ainsley, I would have been here. I was dancing here before one of these places before I met your dad, and then he cleaned me up and got me a house. Something. I thought it was gonna be more meaningful that we're walking through this strip club. And that didn't happen. They still have not gone to Babes and Brew or whatever. So
I'm like, who's paying for this?
Who's paying for what?
This field trip.
Also, to your point, Angela doesn't have any money because she doesn't have a fucking job. So basically, Tommy's paying for this, actually, which should be a conversation, actually. But somehow this is not. Also, did we talk about how it was strange that ex-husband / stepdaddy Victor was willing to pay child support for an adult?
He's like, there's only one more year left.
No, again, there is no years left because, as she pointed out, I'm 17, which in Texas means I'm an adult. And this is your stepdaddy, not your
I'll put it to you. All right, so in New York, right, the age of consent is 17, but you can be on child support all the way up to 21.
It would have made more sense that for some reason Angela was using a lawyer and demanded child support for Ainsley, and he gave in. I would took that. We actually should have saw Victor, and I would have took that better. But I kind of feel like maybe Victor was like, I could have fucked Ainsley. I just needed to work a little bit harder. Like I would have took that better. It would have made more sense to me. That he was like, I just miss her wiping herself down in Crisco. It could have been something there, bro. Because I'm sure she learned it from watching her mom. So, yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if she would have fucked Victor at some point, or just let him look at it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jones, y'all. Jerry Jones did it. I want to make sure y'all hear me when I say he did it. And it was. I looked it up. He actually did. Or it wasn't in San Francisco. It was in Arkansas. But he did use the money from that to buy the Cowboys. So that was true. They just changed it a little bit. Awesome. The cartel should have killed Monty. That should have happened to make that conversation relevant. Yeah. And that guy who got killed by the pipes, as we discussed, that never came back to mean anything.
I'm sure his family took the settlement and didn't have Cooper to raise the number up. So,
And Jamani, we talked about this. That should have been Cooper's plan, because they're always having accidents and he knows how they try to lowball these people. So he does help them. He does find out about that accident. He does contact the family and he does help them. And then Rebecca's like, we got to take care. We got to get rid of Cooper because he's costing us all kinds of money. And then the other oil company, which was the ones that actually ruined the drug operation, he starts helping them. That could have been a whole thing. That could have been a whole thing, and like just wasted.
No, I'm like, Tommy pulled the chair out from Rebecca, and she's just been off balance and off camera ever since. So
she's still at the bar trying to figure out how to sit down. Monty's clearly dead. Again, Rebecca should. I have no reason to watch next episode. There's no an episode 9.
You have every reason
There's
to.
no reason. There's nothing that happened in this episode that I'm like, oh my God, when's the next shoe gonna drop? There's nothing. There's nothing. To your point,
I just told you the cartel said we're gonna get back up with you.
Siobhan, if they ain't gonna do shit, bro. They're not, and it's really is disappointing. To your point, the only thing that is not resolved is what happens with the old folks. That's the only thing that has not been like oh, wait a minute, we gotta wait till next week to see what happened. Like, did old boy dance and everything? And like, what happened the next morning? Remember how we met Ainsley? Her dad said, yes, he's willing to come on you, but is he willing just to hold you and show you that he cares about you? What happened to that? What happened to be like, hey, how about we just lay and hold each other tonight? And then tomorrow I'll do all the nasty stuff I whispered in your ear. Like, can we at least tie these two scenes together? Like, that's something.
No. Well, I guess that was him saying, I'll do this for you if you do. And then she whispers it in her ear, and she says, I was gonna do that anyway. So it was like, instead of cuddling with me, you can dry hump these old people. Those are interchangeable to her.
And again, as you said, you brought up last week, Tommy gets into his truck and drives to Ariana's house. Is like, what's going on here? What's your intentions? What you doing, grown people in your own house? What are you doing? Flash forward to this episode, he's like, turn up the radio, Dale. I don't want to hear my daughter getting in the ass. I don't want to hear it. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. I'm like, what? Angela doesn't even say, hey, baby, here's some condoms. Hey, baby, make sure you swallow. Hey, baby, you don't want a baby.
No, you better get that baby so that, he's a quarterback.
He's not even going to college yet, bro. Like, if he was signed to, if he was an NFL already, if he played for the Cowboys, if he just got drafted for the Cowboys, and that's why Jerry Jones was in this episode, because he was like, hey, Tommy, you saw my new draft? Yeah, he's about to draft my daughter. And they could have tied it together. They missed the entire opportunity.
No, it should have been, who I had, he comes in, he sees them doing the fake Bibles. He tells them, who I had a conversation with today? Jerry Jones. Oh, wow. You keep your distance from my daughter, room for the Holy Ghost and whatnot, and I'll put in a good word for you, only if you keep that distance.
So let's go down this road, okay? Angela should have said, one, Tommy should have told Angela, I went to go see Monty, not doing well. Talk to Jerry. Jerry was dropping knowledge. He was like, hey, family. It's about family. How about we call Cooper over because he's family? But anyway, point is to be like, Angela's like, oh, Jerry, owner of the Cowboys. Wait a minute. Ainsley's about to suck off this quarterback. Hey, baby. Since clearly Ainsley's about to get this quarterback dick, he needs to be part of the Cowboys. So he can pay for her and us, maybe. And then tie it together. Angela's like, hey, make sure this guy gets, because he's probably gonna be family. This boy sitting at the dinner table, looking at Dale, and Dale's mad. This is not your daughter. Like, what are you upset about? Him and Nate were like, what's your intention? What?
No. That's what. What got me was how the fuck. What the fuck has happened that this is the first time he lays eyes on Angela? He's like, yo, you got a hot chef.
Also true.
That's my mom.
Well, okay, wait, okay. They met at the oil rig party, so mom wasn't there. She says he never went to the house. This was his first time at the house.
He went to the house before. Remember, that was last week when she was like, it's Bible study, and he's like, and she's mouthing words, and she's like,
oh, you're right. My fault. So Angela ain't got no job, so she should have been there. You are absolutely correct. He should have known who his mama looks like. And again, I was looking for a tag team at some point, just to be like, baby, let me show you how to do it right, so you can keep him. I've seen these storylines before. So like, they're wasted opportunity. They're wasting opportunities. If we're gonna do this, like this sitcom that they stuck in the middle of this drama, it's baffling. It's baffling, really. And the whipped cream bikini still hasn't happened. Like, you are missing good opportunities, Taylor. Like, you got the woman who started it all. Like, bring this together. Angela can be wearing it for Tommy. I mean, if you know, but I'd
rather Ariana. Like, like she. That's like 30 years ago. Like, no, I'm good on.
You know what? It's funny you should bring that up, because Ariana, when she walked out in her drawers and she's like, "Hey, Daddy, can I sit next to you?" I was like, "This makes sense. This makes sense." And I was like, "That's right." I was like, "We can put some pants on." Where's your son at? Like, you got a child. Like, where's your? Like, is he crying or something? Is he asleep? Like this? It's like, where's your son when you trying to get this dick? Like, I'm not saying just put the baby away. Acknowledge the child. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. The dog was there.
She carried the child in the car seat. That was about all I saw the kid.
That's about it. I did again. Cooper can drive out to random ranches of sorts, all on his own. Get out, negotiate deals, sign words. But when we try to pick up some groceries, he's like, I can't touch the door. I can't.
That's an upgrade. Last episode, he couldn't put his shirt on, so it's baby steps.
It doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, he's an invalid when it's plot convenience. When you need Ariana to get in there and be like, "Let me help you with that." And to your point, she should have been like, "Let me hold it for you while you pee." Like, we can do this. That's what you want to do. I'm like, what? Now he's perfectly fine when he's out there like, "Hello, sir, I got a business deal for you." I was like, how did you get out here? What? So you opened the door by yourself. You drove out there by yourself. You can do all this, but you can't pick up groceries. What? You should be in the hospital then if you're that bad off. So I don't know. I actually thought somehow also why
it was only his second day, so I don't think insurance had kicked in yet. So he's been on his own for that.
So again, his job is Ariana, is managing her and her money. Yeah. Which, by the way, they haven't got yet. They haven't done the router information. So the money can be deposited. Haven't negotiated when that's going to happen. The fact that the CEO is dead. How does that impact the deal? That could be a storyline. It was never signed or approved by him, so Rebecca could be like, "We ain't giving you shit because CEO's dead, and we still got to figure out who's in charge and da 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 da." That kind
I want to know like what Cammy's approach is. Like you have to, because like when you look at the credits, right? It's Demi Moore and then John Hamm. So I'm thinking next season she's gonna be playing a bigger part as running the whole company. Tommy will be vice president, but he's not gonna just all of a sudden be now the president because he died. I don't think he died. I think he might just be in like a coma or a vegetable state or something. And then like, this is nighttime soap opera. So, he's gonna wake up at the end of season 2 or some shit.
No, man, he's dead, bro. Like he's dead. But to be more, she ain't coming back. She is not coming back. And because again, she wasn't even there when her husband died, bro. She's not coming back. His death gives her an exit. If anything, she will be off camera. She will be like, I'm managing the company off camera. And he will mention Cammy every once in a while. You will not see her again. You will not see her in season 2. I feel very strongly about this. Look at what she did. She did nothing this season. Monty didn't do shit either. To be real, I'm saying like not as much. He should have been involved. What happened? The banking loan deal, whatever he did with that dude that I don't know, and that won't even be brought back, and that should be an issue because he promised all this money to them. Rebecca should be looking into this, but none of that's gonna come back, bro. They did all this to set it up. All you're gonna see next year is Rebecca and Tommy. That's it. That's it.
Something better happen because you need liability for her to be relevant. So
no. She's in charge of expansion. That they fixed that. So it has nothing to do with liability, anything. She's in charge of expanding the business. That's her job, which doesn't make any sense because she don't have any experience or in this. But that's what she's doing now.
Yeah, I'm like, why would a lawyer be in charge of?
Because you still got to write the contracts and that kind of stuff. But anyway,
yeah, but you're not in charge of. You're in charge of writing the contract. You're not in charge of the actual expansion.
Well, it's expansion. It's right. That's what Monty said. That's what you're here for, Tommy. You're here, and Nate's here to help. And Dale, you and Dale find the land. She's the one that comes in and finishes the paperwork. And then so I guess Nate works for her. I guess.
Yeah.
They're just trying to set it up. Tommy, Rebecca, boom.
I thought Nate was going to be the one that had the heart attack and not Monty. Like,
why?
He can't handle Angela and
Ainsley.
You know, I just see him his heart just gives out one morning or whatever while they're doing whatever those Pilates or whatever they're doing. So
to your point, he always seems shocked by everything. So that's just his character. But I hear you. So he might get knocked off season 2. So I don't know. None of these characters. I don't. Dale is comic relief. Like Nate is comic relief only to the extent that he has to deal with Angela and Ainsley. That's it. Like outside of that, he's not really useful. And he's not funny. It's his shock. Like I said, it's shocking. He can't believe how these ladies just flaunt around the house stuff. It's the only thing that's getting old. There's only so many times we can do that. And they were more serious about the actual Landman business of building new, like getting new leases, finding the land. If we find out that Cooper is actually moving in on their territory, they were actually planning to expand to those areas. That would be drama, and that would be interesting, but it's comic relief, bro. It's just comic relief. Until Billy Bob calls somebody and talks his way out of every darn thing. I guess. And again, he mentions DEA, he mentions FBI. None of these people show up. None of these people actually show up, which doesn't make any sense. Like,
I'm like, he scared the shit out of that National Guard or whoever. That was you're gonna be in charge for manslaughter and all this other stuff.
So what he did is the same thing he did to the dude that helped beat up Cooper. It was pretty good. Billy Bob knows how to sell a good monologue. Like he is awesome at it. Like Benedict Cumberbatch, I would say is probably number 2, probably number 1 actually. He's very good, like just nailing it, right? So this is what Billy Bob does. Like he can talk very well. So it makes sense that he was able to talk to the National Guard guy. That makes 100% sense. Cartel, a little bit more violent. Like it should be a little bit like it doesn't make sense. He's like, well, okay, sir. If you think I should just clean this, and we don't even see that. Anyway, so wait a minute, hold up. Now Billy Bob is like, yo, I know how this stuff works. They use the land to do the transfer. So you knew this when you offered us the land? Now all of a sudden he's like, yeah, of course they use that land. I mean, I should have told you that, but I didn't. So that should have been the conversation. You did not tell us this part. Oh, yeah. They do that all the time. I forgot to mention
No,
that.
but he said you're there to
deter the
scare
stuff.
them away.
But it's not the point. He act like he knew, like this was a scheduled thing. Like when he was showing them the land, like he forgot. Like, oh yeah. They actually use this land. They actually show up every Tuesday, and they have this kind of it was they wanted it gone, and Taylor just wrote it out in 6 minutes of dialogue. Boom. It took longer to negotiate the strip club. And I'm like, what? That lasted the entire episode. Like over time. Damn it. Anyway, bro. What are you looking for in the finale? Reasonably, Jamani. Like what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen in the finale that you're actually looking forward to seeing?
Cooper has to get in there. Like you can't tease this out. Will they? Won't they? For seasons. Like, all right, you've done it for a season. Give it to them in the finale. Like they're solidified. They're a couple. They're in the afterglow. They're instant family. Whatever. Set that up. I'm like, can Ainsley? Well, I guess that might not be realistic to say Ainsley actually ends up in school. So let me take that back. Yeah, Tommy's not moving out. Like that is the show. This is like, what do you call it? Like, you know how you had 3 men and a baby, 2.5 men. It's 3 men and a family or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like the three. I like, you're right. The 3 men and a thought. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like. I have no idea what's going to go on with Monty and the whole, upper tier of the company. But Rebecca definitely needs to be in the next episode, and she needs to, be taking charge, taking names, and, fucking everything up so that Tommy has to come and fix it and say, see, you think you know everything, but you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I agree with that's not realistic. Oh, you still want to watch a season 2?
Yeah. Billy Bob, especially for this character, he is the show. I'm like, you say Cooper is, but I don't know if Cooper, like, if you took Billy Bob out and like it was just the Cooper show, like Cooper is the lead. I don't.
No. Again, Casey. He's the Casey of the show. Is my point. Like you can't. Well, they did actually. They took out John. So like it wouldn't go seasons. It wouldn't go seasons. Like they wrap. Once you take out John, the show's over. Once you take out Tommy, this show's over. I'm not saying
even with Yellowstone, it wasn't Casey. Casey was still, the sidekick. It was John is gone now. Now Beth is in charge.
That's my point, Jamai. I'm saying like he's like Casey. Like he cannot lead the show, but he's a good foundational character. Is my point. Like, but that show you had Beth, Rip, and Casey. Like they were like, if it's not John, those 3 kind of like expand were the anchors to help, anchor the show when John can't be the center point of everything. Like it was all connected, but John had a much more important presence and did much more stuff in Yellowstone than Tommy is doing in this show. It's not the same thing. So again, John would be
I think
Monty.
That's a matter of John not having a boss. So he's in charge of everything. Tommy's middle management.
even so Tommy is Rip. Tommy's Rip. And even Rip had a more stronger presence than Tommy. Like Monty would be John. I get that. But even at that level, you saw him doing the big moves to keep the ranch alive and dealing with that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, Monty should be. I mean, he is flying around in a helicopter and had a point, but like Yellowstone did it better. Yellowstone did it better. It just did.
I think that what you're looking for is you're looking for Tommy to be taking people to the train station.
No, I'm looking for more Tommy to be more relevant. Like Casey was the one that dealt with the meth dealer. Just for example, there was like at least 3 meth operations going on in Yellowstone and in Montana, and it was a thing. Like and Casey just happened to want. It didn't actually impact John that much, but it was a thing. I'm saying like Rip had many storylines. It's not even about the train station. It's like when Tommy is there, he is useful. And Billy Bob is good. I'm not saying he is a waste of time. I'm saying they keep on wrapping up storylines that could be relevant, that could go somewhere, that could provide like credible drama that you want to watch. And they just sweep that, they just write it away. They write it away. And they focus they focus on Ainsley and Angela.
I think that's what writers' rooms have become. It's like before, like a Breaking Bad, right? They're like, all right, we are in the writers' room. We'll put something on the board, right? And it will stay there for years until the right time comes for it. Like they said that they had the whole ding ding boom with the whole blowing up of Gus or whatever. That was on the board for like 2 seasons until they decided to put it in the 4th season. So I'm like, they try to, like, if we talked about it in the writers' room, let's fit it into the season. Nothing gets carried over to the next season, and then we just start fresh. So it's like you're just trying to put everything in.
I'm not asking for anything, bro. Monty should have been a lot more involved in the show, especially if he's dead now. Like he should have did this one episode was the most relevant because he set up season 2. He said and he set up what Tommy's elevated to management, so he has more things to do, and then Rebecca's elevated, so she has more things to do, and she gets to stay in the show. That's what his purpose was to establish Rebecca and Tommy. I guess.
Will they do ghosts in this show? No pun intended. With like John Hamm, giving Tommy advice as seasons go on.
No. He wasn't around enough to matter that much.
But that was his best friend, so to say. So,
they didn't. Well, to your point, Ghost doesn't talk to Tommy on a regular basis. And so it's not the same thing. I mean, if this was seasons into this show and Monty was much more of a more grounded, this is not that type of show for one. But even with that, it's like Monty wasn't that important. And if he would have to be around these 2 seasons for that to be a thing.
And for Ghost to be talking to Tommy, like, no, that's they don't even mention his name. So
I'm just saying, like, to go down this road, I'm like, it doesn't. Monty wasn't that big of a character to me. Moore was less than that. So it was a bait and switch to get people to watch this show. And they put out the big names, and Billy Bob has to carry it. In that sense. But
Demi Moore, she did the whole strip tease and whatever. Like, why couldn't she have played the Angela role?
No, that was done to balance out like G.I. Jane, I think. And then she just got her breast done at the time. So, and that movie tanked. So that's not a. I hear you, but that wouldn't be. Also, she's old, bro. Like, you can definitely see the face work she's done. She's had done. She had no ass whatsoever. Like when she was in the hospital and Tommy walked up behind her like, hey, and she turned around. I was like, damn, her ass is flat as fuck, dude. I was like,
Angela's isn't that much bigger either.
Yeah, but she got the front. You're right. Anyway, I think it's not the point. We shouldn't even be having these conversations because this show should not be about that. Like it's, and that's the point. The fact that we have to sit here and be like, who would have been the better MILF? Like it's sad. It's sad that this is where we're at. I thought Demi Moore was gonna be like, again, the business person to take, especially to show her business savvy, and then she does step in now that Monty's gone. She should have stepped in last episode when he got sick. That's what should have happened. And it's her telling Tommy, hey, you're in charge of this. Rebecca's in charge of this. Monty, and then like you said, it should have been, you are going. Like, he don't have to die. They could just, that's how much he's not going to be in the show. They want us to know he is not coming back. So they killed him off, as opposed to he's taking some time off and we're going, back to wherever the fuck they're from. And focus on the family.
He should have just died as soon as Jerry Jones left the room, like just to tie it all together. Like, this is the last person he talked to. This is the last thing he heard. He died with his daughter, and it just.
No, I mean, like, last moment should have been with his wife, but they can't afford her, so they're like, let's just keep this moving. Tommy gave her a great speech, and they failed. They failed. She should have been talking to him, like Tommy said, and see what his answer is. Right? Maybe, I mean, like every time they do the biograph movie of the person who's gonna die, and then right before it's like, yo, bruh, tomorrow we're doing this and this and this, and the future is so bright, and then they die. Like, that's what they should have did. You're right, baby. I'm gonna take a step back. Tommy's in charge. It's gonna be you, me, and the daughters, I guess, and we're gonna focus on family. And then he dies the next day. That would, even if it happened the way it did, where Tommy gets the phone call, they couldn't even afford to bring Demi Moore back for the other side of the phone call. That's how much she costs. They're like, it needs to be just Billy Bob. We can't even do. Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's going on? He died. I'm sorry. What do you need? It's me and the girls, and they couldn't even afford to bring her back for that, bro. Damn.
This show has failed in the sense of memorializing, right? Because you have a repast, but you don't have a funeral, right? And then, like, so Ariana doesn't have any family of her own. The husband doesn't have any family of her own. Were they in witness protection or something? Because, like, nobody gives a shit to check on them.
Well, I mean, Cooper has family, and nobody gives a shit to check up on him. But to your point, the other widows or family members or whoever, they should be checking in, especially with the money coming. Like, because I'm understanding they all got the $1 million, as I'm understanding. Yeah. So like, they should be, oh my God, thank you, like something like, where are they? Like that doesn't make any kind of sense. The community should be thanking Cooper. And he's like, you moved into my husband's house, bitch. We getting out this house because I got you $1 million. So let me tell you where we're not living, here, because I got my ass whooped here. So we're moving where no one knows our name. Yeah. So we ain't staying in the broke land. We stay in the money land. Anyway, I thoughts. And where's Boss at?
Boss who?
The black dude, Boss.
Oh.
Like where? Like, well, why is he not?
Like, why would you see him if Cooper quit? Like,
well, again, go talk. Like, what, bro? What happened? I got, like, to let him know at least that he fought for his dead homies. Like, he's the one that made sure that they paid the money necessary. Like, something. Again, I mean, I'm just saying. I think the boss was. He wasn't even the one that came to find him. But I'm like, to be like, hey, I care. I mean, the fact that he reached, it would have been nice for them to have a final buy, or maybe with his new business, maybe Boss goes with him to the new business. As much as I'm trying to understand the new business.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Ariana has to be bankrolling this, because who the hell is paying for all this damn equipment?
Oh no, it's gonna be her. And I'm but again, she mortgage, like, they didn't have to make her that naive. Like, he went too far on that. Also, there is no writer's room. It's Taylor. It's just him. So like ain't no arguments. So like, but I mean, they made her way too naive for him to be like, okay, let me explain to you. Give me 101 on geography and geology. Let me show you how this stuff comes together. She's like, I'm like, you don't understand what the hell I'm saying, do you? Nope. So I don't know. That unnecessary, just unnecessary. I'm gonna take your money to make more money. I'm gonna buy you a house first. First and foremost, I'm buying you a house. I'm giving you money that you can keep in your bank account. Your kid is going to have college money. All that's taken care of. Then I'm going to invest the rest of the money into my new business. Okay, baby. Because I would say any woman, but any woman should be like, wait a minute. We take care of home first. So I may not understand mortgage, but I understand money to an extent. So I want to hear, where's the house? New house, paid off house. As I said, house, allowance, child. Take care of those three. You can do wherever you want with the rest of the money. She should be smart enough to figure that out. And I don't know why she's like,
because his pimp game is strong. Them bruises are like the most romantic visual you could think of. Like,
I swear to God, those bruises weren't there last week when he couldn't put on a shirt. I swear to God, he wasn't beat up like that, bro. He looked like Daredevil. Like, I was like, damn.
No, like he was like, I know I'm gonna have to sell her on this, right? So she's out at the grocery store. So I'm gonna get me a bag of oranges and I'm gonna go Tariq on my stomach.
I mean, he definitely worked out. Anyway, we'll see what happens next week, bro. Anything else?
No, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys next week.
Thanks, Giovanni. All right, guys. Thank you. If you're still watching this video, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you appreciating Landman. Jerry Jones did it. All right. Next to Billy Bob, Jerry Jones made that happen. And I'm serious when I say I would watch a fictional series based on his on his business and life. I mean, it was a great and very inspirational story. Again, we'll see what happens in episode 10. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next weekend. I got a big snowstorm coming here in East Coast, so hopefully I'll have power tomorrow. But we'll be back recording next Saturday. Something. And at least we'll be doing all the Queen's Men, and we'll be saying goodbye to Landman is what we're doing next week at a minimum. As the month ends, the Oval is coming back this week, I think. And some other shows. So as Watson, Morris Chestnut is gonna play John Watson, which doesn't make any sense, but we're gonna do that show. So late January, early February, a lot more content out there. So stick with us, and we will see you around.
I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching, people in the chat.
I enjoyed the view very much. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You're going to be like, oh, shit.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
You're doing good.
Oh, shit.
Stacey, do your thing. Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just going to end this broadcast and say bye.